Yes, going for the one right now on States and Kingdoms. Welcome back to States and Kingdoms. Today we're talking about Yes and their album Going for the One. Do you like it? Let us know. So this album is a very interesting record.
Sure.
You know, I think of all of the Yes albums that I listened to, this one took
definitely one of them.
This was one of them. This one took the longest for me to really get into, for it to really sink in.
It did take a while for me as well, just like Relayer.
Relayer took a really long time. This one as well.
Which is interesting because, of course, I mean, they're really nothing alike. It's hard to even figure because once the album kind of sinks in, you can't remember why it took any time to sink in the first place. So I really can't tell you why.
These are all such easy songs with great melodies. They're catchy. Why did it take so long?
It is strange. Well, the same thing with Relayer. And Yes is not a band I ever thought of as being in any way difficult.
Or inaccessible.
Yeah, it's not something but Relayer, particularly Sound Chaser. But, and on this, I would say...
Everything after Going for the One.
That's actually not... That's sort of true in
a
way.
It is, yeah. Obviously, the title track felt a little more immediate. I kind of grasped that.
We said once before, about a couple of bands, about ELP and about Yes, that if you're doing really well, don't take any time off.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
ELP was never really the same.
Once you lose your mojo.
Obviously, I like Works. Volume 1, Volume 2 is we're gonna actually talk about soon enough.
Yeah, we did Volume 1. We didn't
love
talk
Love
about Volume
Beach.
2.
Love Beach.
I love
One
Beach
of my favorite albums
to look at.
And if you think I'm serious, I am.
It's not so bad.
No, it's not so bad. I was wrong. But Yes was actually kind of amazing as they took a fair amount of time off, although they did a tour before this, but this is still them in fine fettle.
Yeah, they're still in fighting shape.
Yeah. But the production has been criticized and it's fair. It doesn't sound that bad to me at all. I mean, it's not. It's certainly. There is a lot of reverb. There's a lot of. It can tend to mush up.
Well, the vinyl
way to put it.
Yeah, the vinyl sounds markedly better than like when we listen to it on unnamed streaming service.
I don't have this on CD.
We don't have it on CD.
So it's just the record, and it sounds fine. Mm-hmm. But Going for the One and Parallels are the two songs that do, I would say the production actually does kind of hinder the song from being as successful as it should, because really they're both really good songs.
I love Going for the One. I think it's got such an awesome descending melody.
Yeah.
The vocal line that he sings just so satisfying. It takes these little steps.
Beaker levels at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's really up there.
It's really high. But yeah, it's such a fun song and nice up-tempo way to open the album. But yeah, I miss that really like punchy bass.
It's called bass. Yeah, the bass is not there.
You really can't hear it. It would change the song completely. It would make it so much better if that bass was just like
and a little bit. I think the vocals could be higher. The bass definitely could be higher. That would help. And obviously, for both those songs, there are the live versions on Yes shows.
On Parallels, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And also Wonder Stories, which is better.
Yeah.
But I think is also not as well served by the production as a couple other songs.
Yeah, Parallels is a cool song. The organy beginning and.
Yeah, it sound Parallels is funny because the beginning, the organ sounds big as it should, and all of that, and I think it works really well. There's maybe a little bit more bass on that one, but Still could be more bass. I mean, we always talk about Chris Squire. We don't have to
Turn
keep,
it up, more bass.
Such an intrinsic part of Yes's sound. You need that bass there.
Slap that bass.
But toward the end of Parallels, it gets muddy. For at least to my ear, it gets it gets muddy, and because of Yes shows, you do get to hear them
another way that how it was supposed to sound, almost, or how it sounded in nature. And
they do sound great. They're both going for the one, and Parallels are just really great punchy Yes songs. They're good, great harmonies, and very just very catchy melodies. I think one thing I thought when I kind of left it for a while is it's not very balanced, and I have no idea this is why you give music time, because I actually find it to be very balanced between a song going for the one or Parallels and Turn of the Century and Wonder Stories and Awaken are there's some very very kind of ethereal, very classical things in there, some kind of
there's soft
folk songs and
soft melodies,
and it all fits together it's just extremely
balanced,
very balanced, very sad. It's just very satisfying to listen to, going from one song to another.
But I would say, this album really, at least for me, it demanded my focus.
Yeah,
and my attention, and
it's not background music.
Not background music at all. I had to really, really pay attention and listen to it, not do anything else, like not talk. I had to like have it on in the car while I was driving, and really, I was like, oh.
I actually liked Turn of the Century
right away.
Pretty much right away. Actually, I thought that's actually a very interesting song. I thought, it's a story song, a narrative. It's very John Anderson-y in that respect. The production actually suits it well. It gives it a nice ethereal character. And Turn of the Century and Awaken are both further developments, really, for Yes after Relayer. And they're more, I guess you could say, they're definitely more, like, what would you say, Apollonian, less intense, definitely more classical, more, more...
It's like a little bit of space. Or a lot of space.
I don't want to say I said ethereal already.
You did. Celestial.
There you go. You don't need to know the story. You don't need to pay attention to the words if you don't want to. And I know, some people like that. But it tells a story really well. It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
And
not like a super obvious, like, didactic sort of way. It's not like teaching like talking down to you.
No,
like,
it's the story is part of the music. It just works so well.
Like Bungalow Bill.
And it does give it an a kind of, again, almost operatic quality, even though the music itself is maybe more folkish than
it's like
classical, but
understated. It's it's there.
It's a great song.
Awaken is probably my favorite song on the album, and my favorite melody.
And it might be the most kind of classical thing they ever did. Mm-hmm. At times it sounds almost like a choral piece. At a couple of moments, it almost sounds like Handel or something like that.
Because it has, whereas on other albums, like on Tales from Topographic Oceans, they did, long form pieces with movements and but in this case, I feel like it's kind of the next level where instead of, still utilizing like the rock and roll instrumentation framework, they sort of, scaled back a little bit on Awaken, and, you've got that awesome, 20-minute triangle solo in the middle. So cool. Ding ding.
But actually, that is an amazing section, as it everything builds, and it really, the song, they allow the song to be quiet.
Yeah.
They build up to the next section each thing coming in and each instrument
It's
coming in.
very exciting, very effective, beautifully done. It's everything is in its place, and the crescendo is, really lovely. And then the next part I love. I think it's, just beautiful, a little bit quieter.
It's also quite wordy.
It is. And the melody is like really takes a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like the melody is like just like they're unexpected, and they kind of a extended sort of line.
It's really, I mean, it just suffice to say, it's a beautiful piece of music.
Yeah, it really is. Once it really hit,
mm-hmm.
Because it took me a little while.
You don't have to keep saying it.
But I was a little tarded.
Anyway,
once I got it, I was really blown away.
Everything is really quite subdued. Everything is in its place, and it builds and kind of ebbs and flows, and in a way that is very, I don't want to say, very emotional. It's beautiful, sublime.
Sublime.
It's full of sublimity.
It's underlime.
I put on Tormato, and we talked about that, and I think we were approaching it as, I don't remember what we said, because I never do, but I think we approached it it's not that bad, is it?
We said Tormato.
Yeah, right.
The whole video.
Hey,
it's not so bad.
What's the, in history of the world, the poor ain't so bad. But it's nowhere near this record.
This is
That's a fairly precipitous fall off, and I guess on this album maybe you can kind of hear the band, John kind of maybe going this way more. The rest of the band is still, doing this, and on Tormato I think you hear that a lot.
Yeah, the songs feel a little bit more fractured, and
but I mean, you could sort of
see that coming a little bit.
Maybe on this album, but it doesn't hinder anything. It's a great album. Yeah, Tormato. I listening to it again. Tormato is not the greatest. It's very uneven. And really, I mean, so in a way, this is the end of their
classic
golden period.
Yeah. Their
golden age.
Right.
It's a good send off. I mean, I wish
a good run.
It would have been nice for it to be this. Actually, I wouldn't mind a remix, and unfortunately, that can't really happen unless
John ate the tapes.
Yeah, right. Unless they find it, like they find silent films on like a Bulgarian vault somewhere. Or maybe they'll find it.
Buster Keaton buys a house and finds who.
It was James Mason. Yeah. Anyway, so hopefully maybe they'll find the master tapes sometime and.
Someone has them.
But just the same.
Someone stole them.
You're right. Just the same. It's still great. It's a great album.
It's a great album.
If it doesn't, if you don't love it at first, definitely give it.
Yeah.
A lot of listens.
Yeah, because now I'm like, it's easy to listen to. It's a joy. Thank you so much for watching our discussion of Going for the One by Yes. Make sure to let us know what you think of this album in the comments. Please like this video, subscribe to States and Kingdoms, and we'll see you next time.